The views expressed in this program do not necessarily reflect those of this station.
Welcome to Insights into Northeast Michigan, a WBKB News public affairs program. Insights deals with the issues affecting those in the community, as well as Northeast Michigan and the state. And now, Insights into Northeast Michigan.
Good morning, I'm Star Connor, and welcome to Insights. I'm your host, and today I have with me Ms. Leslie Sheen, Assistant Director of the Sunrise Mission. How are you doing today?
I'm well. Thank you for coming to visit us at the mission today.
Right, and we're going to talk about the Sunrise Mission. So what exactly is the Sunrise Mission?
We are a 33-bed gospel rescue mission. We work with single adults and families here at the mission.
Okay, with homelessness currently in the area in Northeast Michigan and here in Alpena, what are you currently doing to serve your mission possible?
Well, as a guest, a family or individual comes in, first thing we would do is address what their immediate needs are. You know, do we need food? Do we need clothes? Those sort of things. Once we've done that, then we talk about what caused the homelessness and build a plan to overcome that. So there are a variety of reasons that folks come here, a variety of reasons that they're homeless, and so there's a variety of ways we assist them.
Okay, why do you think so many people are homeless in the area?
Well, some of the main reasons that a person would become homeless would be lack of education, loss of job, substance abuse, family instability, underemployment, health issues, mental health issues, domestic violence, grief, fire, divorce, lack of transportation, lack of affordable housing, physical disabilities, aging out of foster care, post-traumatic stress, gambling, lack of social skills, and foreclosure are some of them.
Now, with that list being so long, what are the current statistics of homelessness in Alpena, or our area that you cover?
And here at the mission last year, 237 people came to stay at the mission over the year. 24% of those came here for mental health reasons. 5% came with substance abuse issues, and 5% came with health issues. 3% came with physical disabilities, 16 with, reverse that, developmental disabilities are 3%, and physical disabilities are 16%.
Okay, now what areas do you cover? Is it all Northeast Michigan, or is it just people in Alpena?
Well, our service area is Alpena, Elkona, Montmorency, and Presque. But if people come from other areas, we would serve them. Though if someone called us, of course, first we would serve those in our community who come. We are supported by our community through donation, and so folks from our community would come first. And if someone calls us from, let's say, the Detroit area, we would encourage them to stay in that area if there's a shelter available because of their support system. It's pretty hard to come to a new community with no support system and rebuild one's life. And so we would help them identify shelters in their own area to assist them.
How long can someone stay here at the Sunrise Mission?
We are a 90-day shelter. Once a person develops their goals and builds a plan for what's going to happen for them to overcome the homelessness, then they have 90 days to do that. Now, we don't at 91 days tell somebody they have to leave. If a person is working on accomplishing their goals, then we would allow them to stay in and to get to the point where they become safely housed.
Now, when you talk about goals, what are some of the goals you set for your people that stay here at the mission?
Well, they would set their own goals, but based on what their needs were. Some it is job, some it is addressing substance abuse issue, some it is rebuilding family relationships, domestic violence, seeking out counseling for those sort of issues. Those would be a few of the goals that they would work on budgeting. Everybody budgets. If you have a source of income, you are encouraged to volunteer in the community. We all feel good when we give back, when we do for others. And so that's part of the volunteer process, is to feel good about being part of my community.
Now, when someone leaves the shelter, where do they usually end up?
67% of our guests become safely housed in the community. And then there's a variety of other places. Some move to another area where they have family after they've reconciled. Some choose to go to warmer areas. On occasion, you see somebody who, we call them travelers, and they come north in the summer and south in the winter. And so, you work with them to find other housing resources besides homeless shelters. So there's a variety of places that they go.
Now, what do you think you are currently seeing the most, substance or domestic violence here right now as we speak today in the mission?
I would think probably the first would be mental health, and second would be substance abuse.
Thank you, Ms. Sheen, for introducing the Sunrise Mission and educating us on what it's actually about. We'll continue our discussion with Insights in just a minute. Welcome back to Insights. I'm your host, Star Connor, and again, we are here with the Assistant Director of the Sunrise Mission, Ms. Leslie Sheen. Now, continuing on with our discussion, we were talking about what the Sunrise Mission was, but I wanted to continue our discussion with talking about donations. And I understand you guys actually do car donations. How does that work?
If someone had a car they wanted to donate, they'd get in contact with us, and we would make arrangements to pick up the car. We then have the car checked over by a mechanic, and some of them we give to guests, and some are sold to support the mission. So that could be either of those things that we would do with a car that was donated.
Now, speaking of donations, there's a list. I noticed on the site and through meetings with you and noticing you out at Good Morning Alpena. What are you currently accepting as donations?
Well, we always need laundry, detergent, and paper products, paper towels, Kleenex, and so on, and feminine products, diapers of all sizes, hair care products, meat for the freezer, or canned meat. And we can always use money for dial-a-ride passes. Most of our guests do not have cars, and so the getting to the job interview or the doctor's appointment or the whatever is done through dial-a-ride. So we do go through quite a few of those. We always need towels, sheets, blankets, pillows, and some kitchen products, as in plates and cups and silverware, but not a lot of those sort of things.
How often can someone bring the donations to the building?
We are here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so they could come at any time. During normal business hours, our doors are open, that a person could come in.
Now, I understand the mission relies on 60% from families, churches, and other businesses in the area. How does that play a major role with the mission continuing, and what are they doing to help pitch into?
Well, we are 65% supported through donation in our community. Our board decided this year that we would not be taking government funding moving forward, and so that's a loss of 35% of our income, and so that's a pretty big deal for us. But that decision was made because the things that are required when you accept government funding are opposed to what our policy is of how we serve people. So that's a big step of faith, but we are trusting that God will provide. Our community is very generous, and we look forward to continuing to serve in the same manner that we have for the last 28 years.
Now, when you talk about community, it is nice to see the community support. What's one thing that touches your heart mostly about someone giving back to the mission?
That we care for someone we don't even know, that we don't even know what their circumstances really are, and care enough to reach out and care for them, just as Jesus told us in the Bible that we are to care for the widows and orphans, and this is all part of it, and many in our community support us. Our database is about 5,000 people who donate here. So we are very thankful for each and every one of them, and we would not be here without their caring.
And you talk about would not be here. You're here. What made you decide to be a part of Sunrise Mission?
The job that I had previous to working here at Sunrise Mission, I worked with homeless people. And I came to Sunrise Mission to work with homeless people part of the time. And I was always interested in the mission. My previous job, I had to travel a lot, and I decided I didn't want to travel. So I came and offered to volunteer and was offered a job here. What I love about being here is watching people's lives change. I love watching them overcome an addiction, choose to go back to school, families reconciled. I love watching them come to know the Lord as their personal Savior, and develop strength to make the choices they need to choose to be successful in the community, housed, job-wise, and so on. So it's just a wonderful place to work. I'm very blessed.
Are you currently accepting other volunteers?
We're always interested in volunteers, and how someone would volunteer is give us a call, and we'll go from there.
Okay. Now, what other services do you provide? I know sometimes Subway pitches in, quilts are made, different activities like that, or different donations like that. What other services and programs do you provide here at the mission?
We budgeting is a big part of it. When someone builds a case plan, we would meet with them weekly and discuss how they're going to get to that place. So that might be job search, that might be becoming involved with community mental health, that might be becoming involved with the church. There's many ways that we would encourage them to participate and grow. And so that is what we do.
Once again, Ms. Sheen, thank you so much, and we'll continue on with Insights coming up.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Insights. I'm your host, Star Connor, and we are continuing our conversation with Sunrise Mission Assistant Director, Ms. Leslie Sheen. And I wanted to talk to you about the future of the mission, but before we get into that, has there been an increase or decrease with homelessness here?
We have seen over the last several years, we kind of topped out at 350, 360 a year. Last year it was down to 275, and year before last year it was 237, so a slight decrease, and we're pleased to see there are fewer homeless people. We would hope that would continue. We still have a need for space, classroom space. The needs are different with technology, and there's a need for space for classes. We have a holiday meal every holiday, and we feed about 50 people, and guests and former guests, anyone who wants to come, can come. And what we've done over the years with that is we've moved the furniture out of the living room and anywhere where we could get a table in, and we'd put a table in, and that's how we fed everyone. And it's always a wonderful time because you get to see people you haven't seen who lived here 5 years ago, who might stop back in and share with you information about their families and how things are changing and how things are better for them. And so our board has been working for about 10 years to try to get an addition built on the back, which would include a commercial kitchen where we could have holiday events, and a large meeting room, where we could give budgeting classes or cooking classes or 12-step classes, or just have a space for kids to be able to run on winter days when they are not able to go outside, because we do not have a lot of space inside the mission. So we're excited. We have that project has been approved by the city planners, and we will be working on some fundraising to get moving on that. And we're looking forward to having holidays where we're not quite so packed together, and time to have more classes, do more teaching, help in different ways with our guests who come to the mission.
Now, have you seen more people become homeless during holiday season times, or is it no season at all?
They're really, when I came to work at Sunrise Mission, I thought for sure the winter months would have to be the busiest time, but that is not the case. It is, there is no rhyme or reason when numbers increase and decrease. They just, situations change for people, and they end up homeless. The cycle of homelessness in our area is whatever happens, that loss of job, loss of income, divorce, death, whatever happens that causes the homelessness. The first thing that generally happens after that for a family or an individual is they live with family and friends. And that works for a little while, but it's hard to live with family and friends. So, and once that does not work anymore, then from family, then they go to friends. And once that doesn't work anymore, that's generally when we see them. So they've had a pretty rough time by the time they get here to us, generally.
Now, with the expansion of the building, what goals do you have in mind for that besides the classrooms and things like that? Will you be bringing in more people if they need to come here? Or will that help with, like, how many people are, basically getting housed here?
Well, we are a 33-bed shelter. We have 3 family rooms downstairs. We have 2 dorm rooms, women's dorm rooms. And upstairs in the men's area, there are 2 dorms and there are 2 bathrooms. And we will not be increasing our bed space with the addition. The additions simply are rooms for classrooms, place for our board to meet when they meet, a place for us to give children space, parenting classes. There's just so many different kind of classes if you have space available that you can share with your guests, and we are looking forward to that.
Why strictly the number 33?
Well, that is what our agreement charter with the city is, that's how many people we can accommodate.
Now, if you ever had an overflow, would you take them in?
Well, if it's February and it's cold outside, yes, we have. We've put mattresses on the floor or done whatever it takes to accommodate those who come in. We would not ever want anyone left without a place to be. This time of year it's a little different. In the summer it's a little different. A person can be outside in a tent or whatever, and but we're coming up on a time when that isn't the case. And what we do not hold beds for anyone. We are strictly first come, first serve, and so we encourage everyone to keep calling back. If someone calls back or comes in and we don't have a bed, what we would do with that is we would help them contact other shelters, a place where they could be, and then help them find transportation to get to that place.
Okay, now talking about a little bit of the homeless awareness, I wanted to kick back to one of the programs. I noticed that some people actually go and experience being homeless for a night, being in a cardboard box. Have you actually participated in that?
That is sponsored through the Northeast Michigan Coalition for the Prevention of Homelessness and Hunger. And that has been, yes, I've not slept in a box. Too old, I guess. But mostly it's the kids, high school age kids who do that. And then we may go and visit with them in the evening, and there are speakers, and there are homeless people who come and speak to them about what homelessness feels like. And so that's a awareness event that happens in November. We also have a homeless walk that happens the first Saturday in November, and that also is about awareness. It's about understanding there are homeless people in our community as well.
And I learned people get married here. What's some other programs like that here?
Well, yes, they do get married here. We have a chaplain, and we have weekly Bible studies, and our chaplain is married. Several of our guests, and that's always such a wonderful time. We always have such fun with that. And babies are born while people are here, and just like everything that happens in everybody else's life also happens when you're in a homeless shelter.
Now, on a more positive note, what's next for the Sunrise Mission?
To continue to serve the homeless in our community in the way that the Lord would have us serve. And that's what we will be doing. We've done that for 28 years, and that's what we will continue to do.
Thank you, Ms. Sheen, once again for joining me for Insights. It was a pleasure learning more about the mission and what you guys actually do here.
And I want to thank you for coming and visiting us at the mission and giving us an opportunity to talk about what homelessness looks like in Northeast Michigan.
And that will do it for this week's Insights. Until next time, I'm Star Connor.
Insights into Northeast Michigan is produced by WBKB News. If you have any comments, suggestions, or topics you would like to see on a future show, please email WBKB News. This has been a production of Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation. All rights reserved.